Listen, we have a great show lined up for you. I'm your host, Kim Jacobs, better known as the Balance Doctor. And all of our guests that come on, they're either people that have overcome some tremendous odds in their own lives as they balance this thing called life, or they're experts and they're here to share tips and strategies that will help you better balance and manage your life. Grab your virtual seats and let's get ready for some real, relevant, and relatable content on today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. We are talking with a fierce trailblazer today, someone that's taking the transportation industry by storm, none other than Coach D. Donnelson. How are you, Coach D?
I'm doing good, Kim. How are you?
Oh, I'm so glad that you're here with me today. And I know I personally have a lot of questions about this whole transportation industry because it's not for the faint of heart at all.
It's not. That is
It
not.
is not. People can, I'm telling you, people can think that you can just run and start doing something. If you don't know what you're doing, you need to ask somebody.
That's right.
And D. Donaldson is that somebody to ask. So go ahead and grab your virtual seats. Get your thoughts together. Get your questions ready. If you've ever had questions about being involved in the transportation industry, go ahead and get your fingers moving and type. And definitely take lots of notes because we're going to learn quite a bit from this woman entrepreneur who has made major headway in the transportation industry. All right. So when you come in, let us know where you're visiting in from as well. I'd love to be able to recognize you and send some shout outs to you. And hey, I see already people are popping in. So hello to you in the Facebook world. You type your name, we'll know who you are. Bernita is in the studio and she said, "Hey girl, I'm in my seat. Good morning. Good morning to you, Bernita." And I see all of you that's popping in. I see you, CTR Media Network podcasters. Yes, send those stars. Send the stars. You can send stars right on the Kim Jacobs Show Facebook page. So send those stars right away. And that kind of pops your comments. I think it's further ahead. So use your star privileges, right? All right, everybody, listen. Today we have this wife, mother. She's a pastor, a mentor, everybody's Aunt D, which we're going to find out why people are calling her everybody's Aunt D. And the transportation guru is here with us, Coach D. Donaldson. Where are you located, Coach D?
Tupelo, Mississippi.
Okay. Now, where is it again? Tupelo?
Tupelo, Mississippi, which is called the home of Elvis.
Wow. Now, that's not, is that near where these, where was a tornado just recently?
It is. It hopped over my city and went to the city next door.
Oh my goodness. It's so many natural disasters that's happening across the land. And when we see these things, these are real people that are being impacted. It's not just some statistics. Tornado hit. Da, da, da. It's not that. It's not just news. These
right.
are people's lives.
That's right.
That are being changed forever. How are the people in your community coping?
So the people that are here in Tupelo, again, it did not affect Tupelo. However, because it's an adjacent city, of course, people have family there. So in Tupelo, the one thing that I am so proud to say, when natural disasters happen or anything that is life altering, almost all the time, 100% of the time, we gather here and we go straight to where the impact is. We're fortunate to have 8 days of hope here in Tupelo as well. It is the corporate office for 8 Days of Hope, which is a nationwide 501c3 that serves life-altering events and tornadoes as such. So most of the people here, they're either taking an A shift or a B shift or a C shift, whatever we have to do whatever we have to do, whether it's helping putting water on a truck or all the way to the fact of loaning or lending a truck to someone to assist.
Well, I'm, you know what, sometimes I get just emotional about all that's happening and the fact that like you all being a neighboring city, coming up with a strategy to help your fellow brother and sister. These are times when you realize that race doesn't matter in that regard, because you will help anybody in that situation, I'm sure, no
Mhm.
matter what their nationality, their gender, their race. You're there to just support your brother or your sister, you know? And
Mhm.
I'm grateful for what your city is doing to help in the cities that were impacted with the tornadoes. And I see a comment here in the virtual studio audience about the school shooting that took place in Nashville. I I don't know. As a mother, I'm a mother, okay? So every mother has a it breaks your heart. It
That's right.
breaks your heart to know that I can't talk about anybody else. It breaks my heart to know that you go and you send your children to school and you're just thinking your children are going to school. You're definitely going to see the child at the end of the day, and you prepare yourself accordingly. So you're just like, hey, have a great day. God bless you. You know, smile because God is working through you, and have a fantastic day. And at the end of the day, you're not going to reunite with your child.
See you tonight or see you this
I'll
evening. Or
see you. I'll see you. I'll be back to get you. Love
like,
you. You
mhm.
know, make it a great day. All of those things that you say to your children to just encourage them.
That's
But in this case, 6 people were killed, and I know they're not all children, but 6 people were killed in Nashville in this school shooting. And the
I know.
28-year-old person was actually a former student, some
Mhm.
kind of way of this school at this school as well. Um, yeah.
Devastating.
So I'm praying. I'm praying for all of the families that are impacted by this senseless violence that's occurring throughout our country. And I'm asking God to heal our land. Okay. Okay. We got to keep it moving in order to have, like you said, not go too south. And it is definitely something that is hard to come back up to a major high from. So Nashville, Mississippi, to everyone that's impacted around the country with devastating loss. Florida, I know Florida had all of their homes, a lot of them leveled when Hurricane Ian came through. It's been just so much. I'm praying. I'm praying for all of you, your families, the bereaved families, the country at large, all of us, that we need prayer. We need healing. So, okay. Whoosha, girl, I gotta get my mind right. So, Coach D, transportation. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna take a quick commercial break. Then we're going to come back and let's talk. Blessed are those who are persecuted in my name. Remember, God is here. That's what Trenton says in the word of God. Yes, as a reminder that God is here. Yes, he is. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And
He
it says the shooter
trans.
was trans and killed all the Christian students. Wow. There are so many killings, and no matter whether they're trans, but I don't know, whatever they are, it's just that something is overtaking them that encourages them that this is okay to do. uh, I pray for even their families. I pray for their families, the people that are actually doing the killing, because
That's,
their families are grieving too.
that's
Their
right.
families are grieving
That's
to
right.
know that somebody from your household has
Mm-hmm.
decided to go out and inflict this level of harm to somebody else. Those families are like, you got to be
Devastated.
devastated. So
Mm-hmm.
everybody in these situations need prayer. Okay. All right. Listen, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk with Coach D. Donnelson today, and we're going to learn about how she has made headways again in inroads in the transportation industry. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
When someone has lost a loved one, they want to know what exactly happened. They want to know, is the other person going to be held responsible? And they want closure. At Hunter and Everett, we help clients that have lost a loved one move on, and to do that with dignity and respect that they deserve.
Everybody, we're back here on the Kim Jacobs Show with guest Dee Donnelson, Coach Dee Donnelson. And when we're talking today, I want to hear from you about what made you even interested in the transportation industry. According to some statistics I've saw, that 9% of women are owners in this industry, 14% are professional drivers, and 37.6% are in leadership. And then according to some transportation and utility statistics, 25.4% were women and 20.8% were African American. That includes all African Americans, not just women. And that was from a study that had 10,079 people that were being surveyed. So what made you be one of these few that's interested in this industry?
You know, Kim, I've always been what I call a jumper. So if I see a business, that's my gift from God. You know, some people can sing, some people can run, some people can play basketball. My gift is administrative. And so a friend of mine challenged me. His name is Terry. And he said, "Do you think you can do this?" I said, "Yeah, I think I can do this. You know, it's nothing impossible with God." And so there was a couple of dedicated runs that came about. And he said, "Ms. D, I really believe that you can get this dedicated run." I said, "Well, let me look at it." So I started researching it, and I started seeing the generated revenue that the statistics stated. And I kept thinking about it. So I went to prayer and I said, "God, if this be you, you know that I don't have the funds to buy this equipment, and I would prefer not to use my own." I said, "So God, if this is your will, you make the way." And I stepped back and I started reading into it. I started researching. I started networking to see what it was actually about, because it's not good enough for someone to tell you, "Oh, you can make money."
Right.
Because when the downtime comes, then you have to know how to pivot, shift, or move. So I went into it with my eyes open, because I did my research at first. And lo and behold, I received the dedicated contract on the first run. And it just literally went from there. And of course, God did provide.
Yeah.
And God brought me a couple of people in and said, "Hey, I heard you were going to do this. You talking about moving into the transportation business, the trucking business," because that's what we say. We say the trucking business, but what we don't realize is that transportation is much bigger than just the trucking industry.
Yes.
I literally went from one stage to another. The thing about me is that I want to see every facet. I want to know the ins and outs of it all. And so that's where I started. I started with 2020 hotshot Dodge Ram 5500, because I felt like if I'm gonna go out there, I might as well go all the way.
Going big, right?
So big, or I'm gonna stay at home. So that's, that was my training and my upbringing. So that's what I did.
That is inspiring. Now, what advice would you give people that are watching today that may not even know where to start if they're interested in pursuing something in the transportation field?
So, of course, Kim, I'll say this. If you're interested in the transportation field, my email address is coachd@gmail.com. I have a product called Truck in the Box, and I will be glad to assist you. However, if you want to go out there and look at it on your own, I would say give yourself 3 to 6 months to network, to learn the system, to know what's going on as a female.
Right.
If you're a female, I would say go out there and learn what's going on. Just don't go out there and learn how much money you can make. Know what a DD15 is, know what a pack card is, know what a calming engine is, know where you're going with it. You got to know everything about it. Because
Everything.
that's right. Because as a female, you're so, it's so apt to pull the wool over your eyes, so to speak. Mm-hmm. So no, I wouldn't say go straight to it. I would say do your networking, learn everything from the ground up. That's always my advice. And when I say the ground up, I mean literally. You learn about every 265 RT 15 tire, all the way up to the 82 inches in the inside or the 80 inches in the inside. Learn what's going on in the inside of your cab. Know that in this industry, we don't call trucks, we call them tractors. So you have to know exactly in your industry. Just don't go out there playing games with your money, because if you do, you'll learn out real quick that you'll throw craps.
That's really good. Let's see. A question came in. Did your trucking company used to sponsor the show? No, her trucking company hasn't sponsored the Kim Jacobs Show yet, but thank you for speaking it into existence, Mackenzie, because yes, there is a trucking company that served as one of our sponsors, and you never know, Dee Donaldson may very well become one.
Right.
Any other questions? Definitely keep them coming right into the studio audience comment section, and we'll pop them up. Now, I also wanted to find out, you're a pastor, right?
Yeah, but I'm a different kind of pastor.
Okay. That's what I was like. Now, how in the world does pastoring collide with trucking and transportation? So tell me how they merged.
So there's no way on the earth, in my opinion, that you cannot merge Christianity and business. They have to collide. If they don't collide, you're going to flop. I mean, no words to express it. So God and me, we always have to go together. We are one on one. However, I'm the trucker's pastor. I pastor people that y'all will never see. You'll never hear, you will never know them, because they're not coming to your church. They're going to stay in their truck.
Oh my goodness. So she's the trucking pastor. All right, we're going to type some of your points back there and put them up here on the comment section as well. So she's not your typical, whatever. I don't know if there is a typical pastor, because I think people that are pastoring are all assigned to a wide variety of people. So it's no stereotypical image, in my opinion. Right. So you are the pastor of truckers.
On wheels, not for
on wheels?
Yeah.
And what does that look like? Describe what that looks like.
So behind me, you see the Central Time, Mountain Time, Pacific Time, Eastern Time. So that means I can be everywhere at the same time, at the same hour. I'm in Central Time. So when I'm speaking a word or being impactful as I possibly can to my guys as they're going down the road, or they're having situations, I'm giving them a fresh word from God so that they can keep rolling in the truck and not run over you.
What do you mean by that?
Because what happens is, if you see a truck coming, you're going to try to speed up. But what you don't know is what I'm going through behind those 18 wheels. You don't know if I just lost my mother, I just lost my father, my wife just sent me divorce papers through Loves. You don't know where my mental state is, right? And so I'm that person that they can call and say, hey, D, hey, Pastor D, I need you to help me through this. I can't get through this. And you don't know that they're driving 75 miles an hour. Some of them are. Most of them are driving 70 miles an hour, and they have 80,000 pounds in and on their hands. So they're guiding 80,000 pounds. With the same issues, with the same life-altering issues that are going through their every day-to-day life. They're going through everything that you're going through on the ground, but they're guiding 80,000 pounds.
That is such a visual picture. I don't believe in, I really go to great extremes to try to prevent road rage situations. So if I see somebody trying to cut me off or whatever, then I'm like, just by all means, carry on, toodaloo, and go about your business, because I'm not interested in having an incident with somebody, right? But with your situation that you just described with these truckers that are driving, do you recommend that we all kind of just yield to that, or because sometimes, if I feel like I can get in front of a truck, because I'm like, dog, I'm gonna be way behind all of this load, I'll go ahead and try and speed up. this is Kim, y'all, being transparent. Okay. But I'll speed up to try to get ahead of that situation, because I don't want to be stuck behind. I can't see, blocking me. If it's raining, it's flushing, all kind of stuff. What do you recommend?
Kim, safety is always the best policy. Because again, now that I've imparted that into you, you're going to think twice.
You better believe I am. I'm actually going to stop. I don't care if it's a stop sign. I'm going to be like, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, safety is always the best policy. Always know that what you can see in your rear view, a trucker can't see in his or her rear view. The other thing is that when you see a truck, how many children do you know that are in there? You don't. So while you're putting them in a situation, they are trained to protect themselves. So if they're trained to protect themselves, to protect the loads, to protect the passengers that are inside, what chance do you have? You don't. I don't know what to say, Kim. Whenever I try to speak to someone, I try to give them such a visual that they'll never do it again, because a lot of female drivers have their children in the car, in the tractor. A lot of males, that's their time, that, you know, during spring break, during Christmas, that's their time that they get a chance to spend with their children that particular week. And you don't know who's in that cab. You just can't say because you see one person that is one person in the cab, because it could be two people driving the cab, the tractor, or it could be, again, that mother that has those small children that are taking on this job to provide for their children. And there they are. They're in the back of the cab, because now we know that we can do homeschooling. So now we're at a whole nother level with our
advice,
because they have their children, you know, in the cab with them. So safety is always the best policy. However, you got to think about it in a whole nother way, because now we have families that's inside of those tractors versus a man.
That's really good visual and incredible advice. So if we're riding along the highway and we see a major 18-wheeler coming down, just if for safety purposes, yield if it's possible. So definitely yield.
Oh, and sometimes pass them, Kim. I'm not saying don't pass them. I just said safety is the best policy, because at the end of the day, they're trained to save themselves. So you're not really a really big picture when I'm sitting 80, you know, I got 82 inches above me. I got 4,000 pounds behind me, 40,000 pounds behind me. I'm going to save me and my children. It's not to, you know, disregard you and your life or any others. But at the end of the day, the driver is going to try to save himself or herself or his or her family.
Wow. Okay. Well, I don't know this industry at that level. So here we're talking with someone that has proven her success to be tenured in understanding what goes on behind the scenes in this transportation world. And I just want to take a moment again and acknowledge our episode sponsor, Attorney Charles Everidge with Hunter Everidge Law Firm. There are a wide group of attorneys within their group. They deal with disability, workers' compensation. If you're dealing with a wrongful death of a loved one, definitely give them a call. 704-251-2945. And they are located in the Alabama area, the Richmond, Virginia area, and also the Charlotte, North Carolina area. Okay. All right. So make sure you do that. And then we're going to also hear from our next episode sponsor, which is SilverShield.Security.com. Let's learn more about them now. We'll be right back.
With Silver Shield Security, which has been protecting my family and home, along with servicing the Carolinas for over a decade. Silver Shield Security knows the importance of convenience and safety. Whether you live in an apartment, a home, or run a business, they are here to protect you from unwanted intrusions and fires. Call now at 704-440-4688 or visit the website at www.silvershield-security.com. You can use my promo code #ToneX and get 1/2 off your installation price. Don't forget to ask about the new no money down options. Let Silver Shield Security help to give you peace of mind, just like me and my family, and keep your business safe.
We're back and we're talking with Coach D. Donnelson, who's shedding some significant light on the whole transportation industry. And I wanted to find out from you, do you actually drive yourself? Because I know you're an administrator, but do you drive?
Yeah,
Huh?
I can, don't.
Huh?
I can, but I don't.
Oh, okay. You can, but you don't. All
That's
right. But you're licensed to be able to drive.
right. So my thing about that is that what if someone hijacks your truck or abandons your truck? Then what do? You hire somebody to go get it, or you go get it yourself.
So that's when you will kick in the gear.
Yeah. So I how to do a whole lot.
So how did you learn? When did you learn to be able to drive yourself?
So always fascinated about how high it was, you know. And so I spoke with a couple of my drivers and I said, I can drive, you know, because everything is in automatic. I was like, I can drive, you know, I'm not afraid, until I had to bag up. Couldn't bag up, Kim. So my driver said, if you can't bag up, you can't drive.
You can't drive.
Yes. I had a young guy that, you know, gave me a few little pointers, told me what I needed to do, and we went from there.
Wow. Now I know too that you are a mom, and so you balance a lot between business ownership and then also parenting, especially with a teen. So how do you go about balancing life with business ownership and motherhood?
So let me say this first off, I failed. Okay.
You say you failed?
I did. I like being transparent. So the first time I failed, my son is 36 and my daughter is 16. You do the math.
I could have had a V8 moment.
Yeah, but a V8. But so the first time I didn't do well because I thought that as long as I was doing, you know, what I needed to do for my son, make sure that he was, you know, provided for, you know, and at the time I was married to my son's father. And as long as we were bringing in the money and, you know, they had this quote, roof over your head, clothes on your back, everything was done right. That wasn't right. That wasn't right because I missed a lot. You know, I did good with the provision side, but I did bad balancing and really learning my son, learning who he was, learning where he needed to go. You know, I knew that he was going to go to school. I knew that everything was going to be there for him. But at the end of the day, I didn't know really what was for him, my son.
Wow.
So in this industry, you can kick it off wrong. You can. You can do wrong. I've been an entrepreneur for about 35 years.
Okay.
But, so with my son, he got the younger side of me. With my daughter, she got the mature side of me that had made all the mistakes. So now, you know, I'm a little bit more in tune with what's going on with her and what she wants to do. And my husband, he often says to me, take off your jacket, D. So take off your jacket means you're at home now.
You're at home.
Take off your jacket means you don't run nothing at this house.
You are not the business owner here, woman.
Girlfriend, you are the wife, mother, dog mom, all of that stuff right there. And it really helped me because I realized that that's what I needed. And Andre is really what I needed to give me some balance. And my spiritual father, Bishop Gerald Patterson, he's counseled me through this whole phase of my life and the direction that I needed to go. And then my pastor, Bishop Kelvin Ramsey, they both collide in that they're not separate. They're both on one page, especially as it relates to my life. And having those kind of people around you, Kim, it gives you a place that you can say, you know, you got to have somebody that can check you.
That's right.
This age, you know, this age group, they don't want no accountability. I'm not going to say all of them don't want accountability.
Right. Not everybody, but some people. Right.
You know, I'm from the old school, so I need to center myself around somebody that's stronger than me, that can hold me and hold my hand up and say, hey, this is what you're accountable for. And I need you to get in place before Hannah is gone, and then you have not imparted anything into her life. So strategically, that's what God has given me in order to stay balanced.
That's good. Good. I love that. And I see Kevin Sharp said, and Kevin, welcome. So glad to have you viewing today. And I know that you view often anyway. So thank you for being a faithful viewer in the studio audience of the Kim Jacobs Show. Remember that the truck can't stop like a car. That's a great point.
It cannot. So they're not going to stop and throw 40,000 pounds in the back of their head to prevent from bumping you. They're going to bump you.
That's really a good visual. Everything that you're saying puts it in better in my mind's eye of how to deal with future situations when I'm encountering a truck, an 18-wheeler. So I love this conversation. Now, you said with you hindsight having better understanding from a parenting perspective of things that you could do differently. So now your daughter Hannah, I think people are calling her because she's on her you're on your cell phone, right?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
So people are like, girl, I see you on the Kim Jacobs Show. You're like, can you call me after? I can't talk to you right now. I'm on my phone. Anyway, they're going to keep calling. All right, here, go answer that call and come right back. Okay. Listen, go answer. You going to answer that call? Oh, no, you're going to come on. Okay. She like, they keep calling. Let me put her back on. Hold on. I got it. Let me put you back on. There you
That's
go.
why I didn't want to be on my phone.
That's hilarious. But
Sorry.
the advice that you would give to parents, regardless of what industry they work in, what advice would you give parents?
Pray first. Pray before you start fussing. You know, I don't have a lot of, well, my verbiage is well, but the way God gives it to me is to make it plain and straight. I always say I'm the part of Jesus that was on the ground writing and looked back and said, if any one of you brothers sin, if y'all without sin, then cast the stone. I'm that part of Jesus, that right on the ground. So I would say you got to pray first, because these children are different. They're headed with more peer pressure and more things that we have ever seen on this earth in our lives. So listen, that's the place that I failed at, because I come from the generation, what I say you do what I say, not as I do. And so I had to learn the frequencies of Hannah, because I'm choleric, whereas Hannah, she's real melancholy. God made her this whole total little person by her own little self. So whereas I'm a little tough, she's a little soft. So I had to ask God to teach me how to love her, teach me how to speak to her, teach me how to hear her and not just see her.
That's good. I think I share those same sentiments as a mom of 5 children. 4 were boys, and then I got blessed with my daughter, and she is a very different, delicate situation compared to the boys. I would just give it to them straight and be like, you want to do that? I'm gonna take your electronics. I'm gonna come in there, unplug the da-da-da. I mean, I was like the real kind of hardcore boy mom, right? So then when my daughter came along, I was like, did that hurt your feelings?
Why are you crying?
Why are you crying? What happened? It's like I have to calm down, change the tone in my voice, because I can't give her the business at the same level that I gave and it worked for my sons. My sons are fantastic guys. They're wonderful men. And I'm grateful that God has given me to be their mom, because I'm like, these are productive citizens. I'm proud of it. But at the end of the day, my daughter is still developing, and she's looking at me like, whoa, she's kind of intense. So I have to pipe it down.
That's right.
A whole lot.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Okay. I see you. Maritza says, yes, you're right about that. And hey, D, my sissy from Her Trucking, Trina said.
Hey, Trina.
Trina, make sure you share the broadcast with all of your trucking friends over there. Let them know that on the Kim Jacobs Show today, we have Coach D. Donnelson, and she is talking everything trucking and transportation, balancing motherhood, pastorhood, and wifehood and everything. This woman's wearing a lot of hats. Hello, Jerica. It's a pleasure to have you here today.
Those are my
Do not
herpreneur
disturb.
sisters.
You said what?
Those are my herpreneur sisters. Trina is my regional, and Jerica is a part of our team on the East Coast.
Okay. Well, all of the herpreneurs that's coming through, y'all make sure y'all tell all of your peers to come on through and show some love through Coach D Donnelson today. And any of you all are welcome to come on and be a part of the Kim Jacobs Show as well. Let me put this link here in case anybody wants to come on screen. You can just cut and paste that into your browser, and it'll bring you directly into the broadcast if you want to come on and do a head-to-head shout out. Okay. I also want to find out from you. You and your daughter, you partner in some different regards. Let's see. Wait, Dr. Connie Green says, hey, Dr. Connie Green, she has a show called Wisdom Tips with Dr. Connie Green. Make sure you all check it out. She said, that's wonderful having a pastor for tractor trailer drivers. We desperately need more pastors on the road to help them out. My son left home for 7 years on the road.
Wow.
Do you want to speak to any more of that?
You know, that's absolutely phenomenal, because what people don't realize is, even though we have the webs and even though we have YouTube and we have all these different facets, it's nothing like that still small voice. You know, that voice on the other phone, that voice on the CB, that voice, you know, that they can pull over, you know, because a driver only can drive 14 hours. They get a 10-hour reset, and then they get a 34-hour reset on the weekend or whenever that time they come for them. And it's nothing like hearing me say Kim Jacobs versus seeing Kim Jacobs on, you know, on streaming or on Facebook or some social media. It's nothing like hearing the voice. The Bible says, how can they hear without a preacher, and how can they receive it and except how can they give it except they be sent? So
that's right.
So to have that person that you can talk to. So I'm that pastor that used to cuss. So cussing don't, you know, truckers cuss, you know, but you know, it don't faze me.
Right.
They'll say little stuff like, you know, Pastor D, you know, them da 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 da. Oh, I'm sorry. You know, because I give them the opportunity to be themselves. I give them the opportunity to say whatever they need to say to me, no judgment zone. And
That's
then
right.
in our own communication frequencies, we're able to speak like, you know, some people I have to say, you know, dog, look, God ain't like that. He chilling. He's sitting on the throne and he looking down. He ain't looking down saying, oh, I'm going to get you. I said, God.
I love that you're actually able to show relatability
right.
to the trucker. So you're like, look, just come one, come all. Say what you got to say. I'm going to break it down to you what I believe God is trying to say to you.
That's
right.
And
that way we can get some understanding here.
I like the Message Bible. It just tell it like it is.
That's good.
You know, so you have to be to meet them where they are. You know, I don't have time to. And another thing, Kim, you don't know who in that truck that has been drinking or smoking. And so that person needs somebody to say, you know what I'm going to do on my 34 reset? I'm just going to get drunk and I'm just going to sleep it off. You know, they need a sound mind, a sound voice. They need to hear a word from God. And it shouldn't have to be, you know, if God said this, then you're that. No, because God wasn't surprised.
That's good. That's good. God already knew. He already knew before he even formed us in our mother's womb what all of the situation was going to be in our lives. So and he knew you were going to be a trucking pastor coming through. They could come through and talk to you and relate to you and be able to learn more about God's word. Thank you for that comment, Dr. Connie Green. I saw another comment. Mackenzie says, shoot, if I knew, I know how she's saying it too. She's like, shoot, if I knew I could bring my kids with me and my husband, shoot, we would be a team of truckers and bringing them kids. So she said she would be in the whole trucking industry if she knew she could bring everybody.
That's right. You can bring everybody.
That's a good thing to know, Mackenzie. So y'all might be going on down the road. Can you still log on and help me backstage? I'm gonna put you the people are going to keep calling until you put do not disturb on your phone, just so you know.
Yeah.
So during the commercial break, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give you all an opportunity. It's a 3-minute thing, so you'll be able to go and put your do not disturb on. But if you're interested in learning how to start a show from scratch, and I'm going to play this one, Mackenzie, because I don't even know if you have this one, but if you're interested in learning how to actually start your own show from scratch, and you don't know what that process is, if I even have it myself, I don't even think I did it. Give me a second here. You know what we're going to do? We're going to just take a quick commercial break and go to Confidence Tones, one of our episode sponsors, and we will be right back. And Coach D, you can try and take care of your call. And we are going to be continuing to talk with Coach D. Donnelson. I am again excited that she's here to talk to us and to take us through this journey of being able to help entrepreneurs that are interested in going in some type of industry that's out of the box, something different that maybe you've never thought about. Is there anybody that's here today that is interested in the trucking industry or in the transportation industry? Let me see. I see Coach Donnelson is back there again. Let me remove this one. I'm also going to take a moment to, okay. Go ahead, Coach D. How are you? I think she's still working, Mackenzie. So I'm just going to play my commercial from one of our episode sponsors, which is my son, Jeremiah Jacobs. We'll be right back.
A web designer and also a web developer. Odds are you're a business owner watching this video. If so, you may be struggling with digital marketing and or building the right website for your business. But that's where I come in, to help you build a website that you're proud of and also hit your target audience. So let me help you build the better business you deserve. For examples of websites that I've worked on, check out my website, jeremiahjjacobs.com. That website in itself is also an example because I built it, and it's an example of a one-pager. To get more information on the plans that I offer, contact me at info@jeremiahjjacobs.com. I repeat, info@jeremiahjjacobs.com. That is my email, not a website. So hopefully you guys have a great day, and I hope to hear from you soon. Bye.
All right. I am a proud mom. I'm excited that Jeremiah is offering this digital marketing service to the community. Let me see some of the studio audience comments that came in. Let's go. You're definitely we're gonna pop your comment up when Coach D gets back in the studio audience. You ready, Coach D? I'll pull you in now. And a comment that just popped up is Dr. Nikki Ziegler. She said, "Hey, I love you." And she said, "Hey, my sissy." She said, "I love you, love you, love you."
Hey,
and I see, so she came to stop by. She is the visionary behind the Herpreneur Network. And so glad to have you here today in the virtual studio audience. Let's see. Her ambassador, East Coast Sissy, is what Trina said.
Coach.
And Kevin Sharp is also in the virtual studio audience, and he said, "God bless you, Sister Jacobs. I've driven trucks for 32 years, and it's true that we carry a lot on our shoulders." I need my glasses for sure, too. What in the world? I can't even read all of this. So I'm trying, like, my eyeballs are straining. I'm gonna need to go to the eye doctor. Okay, yes. I've driven trucks for 32 years, and it's true that we carry a lot on our shoulders when people don't understand that we're human at the end of the day, is the comment that he said. Wow.
Right.
You want to address that again, too, about being just human?
Yeah. A lot of people say, "Oh, that's a trucker." But no, that's not just a trucker. That's his profession. You know, it's not, that's a trucker. Well, that trucker, that's his profession. He is a person. He is he is a Kim. You know what I mean? He's just not a trucker, you know, and just like you get discombobulated about things that go on in your life, so do they. The difference between them and you is that you go through your situations on the ground, but they go through their situations in the air.
In the truck.
Right.
Wow.
Not just in the truck, but in the air in the truck.
Yeah, up above however many feet above the ground
Right.
in the truck. They're already dealing with the fact that they elevated in some
Right.
unknown territory. Now they're dealing with their own human issues too. And wow, it's just
And you know,
so does it
people never think about this, Kim. This is something for you to think about. Birds are in the air. So they have to deal with all the fowls of the air. You know, so they're dealing with the physical as well as the spiritual things that go on in the air. So, you know, just because they're not above the clouds, they're still in the air. And you have to realize that. You know, they're not driving looking down. They're driving looking straight ahead.
looking straight ahead? Yes.
So you're on your cell phone and you looking straight ahead, but you're looking at your cell phone. Well, they're there. They're not driving looking down. So while you're on your cell phone and you waving and weaving, bobbing and weaving, you have 80,000 pounds over here on your right side. And the first thing that you'll say is they hit you. But in reality, you're either afraid to pass, paying attention to something else, your life alternative, things that are going in your life as a person, or you're doing something, you know, that doesn't make any sense, like trying to move as fast as you can by something that you'll never win to.
Wow. Okay.
And you will never win to 18 wheels. Don't just say it in your head like an 18-wheeler, just like you would say a SUV. That is not so. That 18-wheeler has 18 wheels. You'll never win.
Whew. Okay. So I mean, if we don't take anything else away from today, not that the drivers are competing with us for the road. That's not what's happening. What's happening is they're, based on what I'm hearing Coach D say, is that they're trying to get to their destinations. Everybody's safety is important to them, but at the end of the day, they have to make sure that the safety of who they are is front and center, is what I think I'm hearing. Correct?
And that's true. Now, I'm not saying that you don't get a crazy person every now and then, you know, stuck behind a wheel of 80,000 pounds or so. Because due to COVID, we're carrying so much more product and commodity on our trucks than we normally would or even want to. Okay. Some people are carrying 40,000 pounds because that's all out there. Okay. Because once you get the people in the shipping department to work, your mindset is get all what you can out while you can. So most people are driving 35,000 pounds and above, not to count the 35,000 pounds that they already are empty. So
it's a lot of food for thought is what this is. And I know I'm personally learning so much from you today. Thank you, Kevin Sharp, for your comment as well. And another comment, he's not mentally able to go back on the road. What would you suggest that I do to help him? Her son, this is Dr. Connie Green, who talked about her son leaving and being on the road for 7 years, but now he's not mentally able to go back on the road. What would you suggest from your perspective?
So the transportation industry is more than a truck. And I had to learn that the hard way. So I do dispatching. I teach dispatching. I teach brokerage. I teach freight forwarding. I teach cross brokerage, cross boarding. It's more facets to it than just being behind the truck. So what I would say is, if it's something that he loves, put him in the industry versus putting him in the truck. So show him that there's another way to utilize, there's other tools for him to utilize his expertise that is so needed. And we so need people with experience. Experience is always the best teacher. So just let him know that he can utilize his experience in a vast amount of places. It don't have to be behind the truck. You can generate as much or more revenue being away from the truck than you can in. So you just have to, allow him to see that his 7 years go to waste, that he's still needed in the industry.
I am grateful that you said that. And Dr. Connie Green, I hope that is helpful information for you and your son. I see Dr. Joe Harris said, yes, teach, woman,
Hey,
teach.
Joe.
This is my DD. Love you. And she said, you're a beautiful queen. Yes, yes.
That's the West Coast president.
All right, y'all. Listen, we're learning so much about the transportation industry and trucking industry from Coach D. Donnelson today. I know that you also have some passion projects that you work on with your daughter. And I'd love for you to talk about that too, even though I don't have the photos, but I'd love for you to talk about that some as well. Let's just take a moment and learn from anybody that's interested in starting your own show from scratch. Maybe I'll get a chance to get these photos up. I want to take a moment to give you a chance to learn how you can do that now. So we'll be right back. And you all know who's right here with me, Dr. Les Brown. How are you, Dr. Brown?
I'm blessed and highly favored. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the time you want to give yourself a competitive edge. If you got a message, you have some knowledge or experience, a story, or if you want to do something adventurous and exciting with your life that can increase your credibility, expose you to millions of people, I'm encouraging you to have your own talk show. I used to have a talk show. That one talk show catapulted me to another level. Now there are more people watching the internet, as you are aware, than television. Yes. Come on, somebody.
That's right.
Dr. Kim Jacobs, she trained people on how to have their own talk show. She will train you how to do that. And now with me partnering with her, now you have the combination of an audience, expansive audience. We have over 4 million people in all of our platforms, and the coaching you need to grow your business, to grow your multi-level marketing organization, to draw more attention to yourself in this noisy economy. Go ahead, Kim.
So in the training that I do, Les, I actually do a 6-week training. It's 1 hour per week. And each week I meet with the individuals one-on-one. We go through and we talk about all of the things that's necessary for a show to become a reality. We go from how to actually identify your focus area, what's going to be your ideal customer that's going to be tuning in. We'll talk about how to get guests, how to get sponsorship, how to go about getting your lighting, your branding, and your banners, and everything that you need to know. And guess what, Les? They own their own content at the end of the day.
And that's exciting. Now, if you're ready to create a shift in your business and in your life and increase your cash flow, I want you to go to KimJacobsConsulting.com. It's right there on the screen, KimJacobsConsulting.com. You know, people say opportunity knocks on every door. Right. No. Opportunity stands by silently waiting for you to recognize it. So I want you to recognize that this is a time for you. This is an incredible time to have your own talk show. It establishes a level of credibility.
Yes.
And by being exposed to people on a regular basis, it allows you to strategically begin to impact and attract your audience. She can take you in a place in yourself that you can't go by yourself. So go to KimJacobsConsulting.com. That's KimJacobsConsulting.com. Did I say KimJacobsConsulting.com? Yes, you did. Very good. Make sure you go there and sign up for the coaching, and we're looking forward to working with you. You have something special. You have greatness within you. That's my story, and that's Kim's story, and we're sticking to it. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. All right, everyone. Okay, so I wanted to make sure that we talk to Coach D about your travels and some of the things that you and your daughter do in particular with helping with impoverished children. So talk to us about that for a moment.
So my daughter, her name is Hannah Elizabeth Donnelson, and she is the CEO of A Child on a Mission. A Child on a Mission is exactly what it says. A child on a mission is this child on a mission to prevent poverty in impoverished communities and the world at its best. My daughter accepted her calling into the ministry at 9 years old.
Amazing.
I did not believe her. I did not believe her. I want y'all to hear me say, I did not believe her. I told her, I said, I don't know what you've been watching on TV, but whatever you're watching, you know, we do not play with God. So go about where you're going. But God had truly called her to be a missionary. And contrary to what people believe, I don't travel with her, Kim. That I don't. Hannah left at the age of 11. And I asked her, I said, okay, if you come, she came back to us at 11 and she said, I keep telling y'all, God called me to be a missionary, but y'all won't believe me. And I said, okay, Anna, well, if God called you to be a missionary, then you tell me what he said. And she said, he told me that I was going to go to Africa. And I said, Africa with who? And she said, Aunt Sally. And I said, Aunt Sally? She said, yeah, Aunt Sally's going to take me to Africa. So Sally was the lady that braided our hair. And it'll kind of kick off why everybody calls me Aunt D. Although she's not blood related to me, I wouldn't allow her to call her Sally because she was too young to call her Sally.
Right,
so
right.
She could either say Miss Sally or Aunt Sally, whichever one she. So she started calling her Aunt Sally. So I said to her, I said, okay, Hannah, if that's the truth, then let's go. We're going to see Sally. And I said, if God didn't tell Sally that, then it's not gonna, because where God gives you, he gives you provision. I don't care how young you are.
Right.
So I took her to see Sally. To make a long story short, I said, Sally, Hannah has something to ask you. She said, okay, Hannah, what do you have to ask? She said, Aunt Sally, won't you take me to Senegal? She said, sure, Hannah. I said, wait a minute, time out. Wait. Did you hear what she said? And she said, yeah. Hannah asked me to take her to Senegal.
Right.
She said, go. I'll take her. And so she turned and looked at Hannah. She said, Hannah, when do you want to go to Senegal? And she said, the day after school is out. And she said, okay. And that's the end of it. The day after school was out, Sally got Hannah, took her to Senegal for 22 days. And there is where she taught kindergarten. The little girl that she's holding, her name is Hannah. So
Hannah is holding Hannah.
Holding Hannah. And Hannah taught, if you look behind them at kindergarten and preschool, they start teaching them cursive writing and addition. So Hannah went there and she taught English at age 11.
Wow. And so she knew exactly what God had purposed for her to do at the age of 9. You just needed confirmation as a mom. My daughter as well, she is a missionary, and God has put in her the spirit of Deborah. I was prophesied when she was in my womb that I was carrying the spirit of Deborah in my womb, and she literally exudes this spirit. She wants the whole world to be saved.
Yeah.
And you can't make this stuff up. This is only God ordained for kids to be called on a mission like this. What is this picture of here?
There she's in Arequipa. Arequipa with one mission, and what they did is they went over there for 19 days. I think they might have spoke to maybe 1.3 million people in Arequipa, and Hannah was given the privilege to translate.
Oh my gosh. So what does this do for you to have your daughter be traveling around the world? And how does that make you feel as a mom? Because it's like you got to have some serious belief and faith that God got her.
Well, me and God had that conversation. I can't tell you that it's not easy, but Hannah came with a set of rules. Hannah started talking at 9 months, and her godmother told me that the Lord spoke to her and told her that the reason why she started talking is because she'll start going throughout the city and cover the world before she would even make it through her teens. So Hannah, again, I'm an old school mom. Here we have a church called Temple of Compassion and Deliverance, where the pastor is Bishop Clarence Parks. And at that particular time, it was the only church that I could find after praying to God and getting his direction for covering. I could find a church full of mothers. So I took Hannah, whenever Hannah goes out of the country, she goes to TCD is what we call it. And she goes to TCD during their prayer. And then the mothers of the church cover her for 30 days before she leaves. After which they give her 30 towels and she washes her face with those 30 towels, or, you know, however the time that she's there. So if she's there 15 days, she get 30 towels, one for the morning, one for the evening. And she washes her face, covering herself in oil that they've given her and that they've prayed over her. She goes through a very extenuous process before she goes overseas. And then we on a no food fast, only water. She does 3 to 5 days. It just depends on whatever the mothers of the church tell her to do. That's what I have to go.
That's what she does.
Yeah, because I prayed and I asked God what to do, and God told me to go to them. So I follow whatever they say.
And now, you just totally trust and believe that God has already given them what to do, because they're her intercessor, her intercessory prayer warriors, and you follow suit. You say, I trust wholeheartedly. Now that's 100% trust.
Yeah, you gotta trust them. You know, that's my daughter at the end of the day. So I can't waver. I can't faint. I gotta follow the yellow brick road. God gave Hannah 7 preachers to Christian her and to pray over her. For the last 16 years, those 7 pastors have been with her every step of the way. Every one of them have a specific or strategic thing to do in her life. It may sound a storybook, it may sound whatever people may want to think it is, but at the end of the day, when you send your child on a flight that's 27 hours on a flight or 22 hours on a flight, with a person, because we always send her, you know, with a custodian. We go through a process that a chaperone, we go through a process that we put chaperones in a little basket and we pull them out.
You got me deep breathing over here. I'm like,
we go through a whole process, Kim, you know, which one gonna go with her. During COVID, she wasn't able to go. That's her again there in oh Lord, Arequipa. Okay, that's her. She's in West Senegal right there. And I always show people that picture, Kim, because she look scared?
No, she don't look scared.
She doesn't look scared at all, because
she look happy.
Yeah, when she's over there, she was 11 years old on that picture. Fantu was her house mother, and she did phenomenal with her. But Hannah wasn't scared. She ate the food that they ate. She lived the way they lived.
Again.
You know, her palette is so broad now, it's ridiculous.
And she looks so content and happy is what she looks.
My auntie house, what y'all doing?
I am so glad that you sent these. That's what I was trying to make sure I get these pictures cropped and put in here. I was like, I want to put these pictures up so bad before the broadcast ends. So these are a couple other pictures I want to make sure I pop up just to honor you. Is this you and your husband here?
Yeah, that's that man that God made just for me.
Oh, look how happy you guys look.
Yeah, that's real.
and even just, and I know we went a few minutes longer today because we were having some technical difficulties. I wanted to make sure that Coach D got a chance to really express everything that we planned for her to express on this episode. What advice do you give women that have gone through divorce? And you say, now this one right here, he's the one. What advice do you have for women?
Wait on the Lord and be of good courage. Wait, I say, on the Lord. Now that's the best advice I can give you, Kim, because sometimes we get so much in a hurry, especially when we've been through a bad marriage, whether it was him or me, you know what I mean? So sometimes we go through a bad situation, and then that next time we're so familiar with that bed partner. We're so familiar with that ring. We're so familiar until we don't wait on the Lord. And I'm so glad I waited. Even though I've been knowing Andre since I was 11 years old, and he wanted to be my husband at a young age, and I wasn't having it because my mama wasn't having what he was doing. So, you know, the fairy tale story, to make a long story short, I met Andre in the 5th grade. We parted ways because he was getting on my nerves so bad, wouldn't let me date nobody in school. So my mama sent me to a private school. I was so happy. 20 years later, you know, we still kind of remained a little connection, and then we separated as life took place. Thank God for Mark Zuckerberg. I always said, that's my friend. He was thinking of
He got you connected through that Facebook, right?
connected to that Facebook, and he found me.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, where'd she go? Where'd she go? There, there she is. There she is.
I always say that God knew that was, you know, he knew that was my husband at the end of the day. I have men that call me all day and all night. So he would have to be that man that was made just for me, because who can deal with that all day and all night? You know, 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning. Hey, can I speak to D? you know, just little things like that. But, you know, even in that, even though on to another venture, I still have people calling me all the time, and he let me shine no matter what the situation may be. Even when we're out, and men are always, you know, saying, "What's up, dog? You good?" You know, I'm like, "Yeah, dude, you good?" You know, he's always there to support me and, you know, to wish me well.
Oh, and Vanita says, beautiful picture of you and your husband. Beautiful picture. And Vanita also says, sometimes God does call children at a very young age. So listen, we've been talking with Coach D. Donnelson. Tell them again how they can stay connected with you.
So I'm on social medias, and it's Demetria Donnelson. You can even email me if you would like. Go to my Facebook page, my Instagram page. I know that Dr. Nikki, which is my coach, which is my sister, she my friend. I know she want to just reach through the camera and choke me because my webpage is not up yet. But so I'm gonna throw myself under the bus, Kim, before she throw me under the bus.
Oh, I'm like, what? Don't worry, I'm gonna go talk about that.
Yeah, literally. Just very honored to be here, but you can reach me on any facets of social media, as well as you can email me at coachddonnelson@gmail.com, and make sure you spell that last name Donelson. I'll be glad to reach out to you anyway, you know, just to assist you or coach you through your situations, as well as, hey, you can find me on the Herpreneur Network.
Well, this right here, this woman is a fierce force to be reckoned with. Don't let the jean jacket fool you. I found these pictures too. I'm like, she trying to be modest, but look how she rolled. Okay. Okay. She know how to turn it up. All right. I just wanted to make sure I pop some of those up too. So she's able to be a chameleon and turn from her trucking to her glam shots. And I definitely want you to talk about this quick photo as well, because that one has your son in it.
Yeah, that's my son. That's my sweet baby. That's Tony. And, you know, even with that, although I said that growing up, and, you know, when I look at it, it's kind of hard for me to even just fathom how fast he grew up. He did grow up to be an awesome man. Although his mom wanted him to be a nurse, he wanted to be in hotel management. And that was two dreams so far from each other. But, you know, I appreciate the life that he leads, and I appreciate the man that God has designed him to be. And my son loves people like his mama. So Hannah loves people as it relates to Provish. Tony loves people in general, period. You know, so he loves to, you know, introduce people to this new regime that is going on as it relates to hotel management and just different things that he does, you know, on his own, Kim. I had to let him be himself,
That's right.
in the retail industry, Dollar General or I always forget which one it is, but he likes being in management. So that's what he wanted him to do. You know, that's what he wanted to do with his life.
That's
His
right.
him to be a nurse, but he wanted to be in retail management. So, you know, I had to let go and let him be the man that God has called him to be, and just bag on up and let him do his thing.
I think that you've talked about so many things on this episode today that everybody watching can grab a piece of something to apply to our lives. You've just been a complete inspiration, and I wish you nothing but continued success. And also today, everybody, I want to say happy birthday to Mr. Phil Walters. He is one of our Freestyle Friday experts. I don't have his photo here with me, but you see him on Fridays. And he's also Sam Cooke's, the international celebrity singer's son. And we did a whole episode about the big reveal of Sam Cooke's son. And it's Phil Walters, who happens to be one of our Freestyle Friday experts. Who knew?
Wow.
Okay, so happy birthday to you, Phil Walters. He's going to be coming on soon on one of our upcoming Freestyle Friday episodes. And I do want to take a moment today to dedicate this show, today's episode, to Coach D. Donnelson's father. And he transitioned from this earth. And we just want to pay tribute and honor him in loving memory of Coach D. Donnelson's dad. And I know that heaven is rejoicing and celebrating. And you are one of Coach D's cloud of witnesses for the rest of eternity. So thank you so much for sharing your dad with us. And I know that he's proud of you, Coach D. Donnelson. Yeah. Thank you for allowing me to do that. All right. You have our deepest condolences and prayers. And we save that to the end just so I can give you my heartfelt condolences. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for staying a little longer. Thank you for tuning into this episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. We'll be back tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as we close out, if you want to know how you can contribute to keeping this show thriving, I want you to know it'll be right here on the screen. Screenshot it. Share it in your Herpreneur network and all of the different tribes and groups that you're a part of. Encourage people to donate now to The Kim Jacobs Show. God bless you and have a great day. Thank you, Mackenzie, backstage, and you can close us out. Have a great one, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show and for being in the virtual studio audience. Your presence truly does make a difference, and I look forward to you bringing your friends and family to join you in the virtual studio audience Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I look forward to seeing you and make it a great day.